Good morning, students. Okay, we'll have a quick recap of what we have seen in the last class. Okay, so we started. Let me share the PPT. Yeah, is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Ah, yes. Okay. So we started last session. We started with introducing about the concept of management. So what do you mean by really the management, and what the idea behind the management? How different people see the management as like a economist point of view and a sociologist point of view and a manager, a practitioner, what we call it as a practitioner's point of view, how different people see the management as a process. Okay, so finally, what we came to, what you say, what we understood from the previous class discussion is presentation is it's a process to achieve a predetermined objectives. As we said, in and around us, there are many enterprises, organizations, companies, firms. So here, it is a process of to achieve the predetermined objectives for any organization, for any sort of any type of organizations, the objectives. So the one thing what we have to keep in mind here is objectives. So any company should have their objectives to be satisfied. So in that process of what you say achieving those objectives, we need a systematic effort. So how to achieve those objectives? So we need a systematic effort. So that systematic effort is defined in this broad term management. So after that, what we have seen is the some of few what you say the few definitions given by the scholars in the field who does research and really the practice who practice management. So we have seen some few definitions which will throw light on the different perspectives, like as a human, what you say, it's as a function of various systems, function of elements, and seeing as a process where an active leader, some leader should take up and proceed it. And at different level, people have been designated as a managers, and they have been given that process to achieve at different level. So many definitions. So according to the various definitions what we have seen in the previous sessions, we came to we took up what to say um, and a definition which is more dealing with what we discussed so far, which is management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling the efforts of organization members and of using all other organizational resources to achieve stated organizational goals. Again, see the organization goals is there. So this was the definition which comprises what you say the all the facets and all the notions that we discussed about management. So finally, in the last class, we came to a conclusion like management is a continuous process. So several interrelated activities are involved in the management that has to be performed by the managers, irrespective of their levels, different levels, to achieve the desired goals. And managers use the resources of the organizations, both physical as well as human, to achieve the goals. So management aims at achieving the organization goals by ensuring effective use of resources. And that one more thing, it is not only using the both physical and human resources. A manager's role is to use these resources with effective use of resources in the best interest to the society. So that also have to be there. That is why in many of the organizations and enterprises they used to have this what you say corporate social responsibility, CSR, where the manager will look after this. CS or corporate social responsibility. So the effective use of the resources for the best interest of the society also has to be considered while practicing management for a company. Okay. Now with this, for today, we will move to the next level um, of management. The next topic in management, what we're going to see is the functions of management. If that is the case, if we are clear with what is management, and let me see any predefined functions that has been given to management. So there are four functions of management. I'm reading: uh, plan, organize, plan, organize, direct, and control. Plan, organize, direct, and control are the four functions of management which to achieve the predetermined objectives, and with the definition of what we have seen so far about management. So, plan. First is the plan. So, this is the base function of a management. So, the base function is to plan. So it is the base upon which all the areas of management should be built. So planning, which is the base where all the areas of management should be built. Planning requires administration to assess where the company is presently set and where it would be in the upcoming. Okay, the assessment by the administration to assess where the company is presently in the what is the status and situation or status of the company or level of the company be set by this planning, and what would where would be in the upcoming, what would be their future stage or future status or future level where they have to travel. So from there an appropriate course of action is determined and implemented to attain the company's goals and objectives. So planning is unending course of action. It is not like achieving a level or achieving a stage. The planning function ends. It's not like it's an unending course of action. If you achieve the goal as predetermined, or the level or the stage that has been fixed by the team of managers or the team of administration people involved, then they will plan for the next level. So next level to how to achieve the next level. So presently setting up some level, and future where they have to be. So that has to be the future course of action. As I said, this planning is a unending course of action. There may be strategies. So here involves the strategies where companies have to face the different. For example, the recent strategy. Some 2 years before, the company would have planned for some sort of action plan they have in their mind and to execute with the employees or with the resources that they have. But unexpectedly, it's an unforeseen situation, that is our pandemic corona. So that becomes a sudden, what you say, threat to execute their plan as how they plan. Okay, so there they have to change the strategy where companies have faced this issue recently. Sometimes they are uncontrollable. As I said, you can say that they are external factors that constantly affect a company on both the way, positive and negative way. So depending on the conditions, you see, you can, as I said, post affecting positively and negatively as this corona, how it has affected the your planning process or your executing process in the negative way, and you have to think other side of the positive avenues or positive doors where you can achieve this. So depending on the conditions, a company have to alter its course of action. So it has to alter its course of action in accomplishing certain goals. I think this corona pandemic is an example how they have planned and the challenge that they faced and how the course of action has been, the negative situation has been turned into positive. So this kind of preparation arrangement is known as strategic planning. So in the functions, base function in the management, this kind of what you say, the preparation and arrangement during these unexpected or unseen, uncontrollable situations is known as strategic planning. So in strategic planning, management analyzes inside and outside factors that may affect the company, and so objectives and goals, how it has been affected without compromising with the achieving the objectives, how to go about it. So that's why here we mean it as strategic planning. Here they should have a, what you say, the have a study of strength and weakness, opportunities and threats. So this is the area, this is the where this is where they will, what you say, they will analyze the strengths, weaks, opportunities and challenges of any company. So the base function of any management is planning, and it's an unending course of action, and in any unpredictable or unforeseen situation that disturbs the planning execution process. So that time it has to be involved with the strategic planning. So you have to be ready with the preparation and arrangement is known as the strategic planning that you are going to execute in the planning stage. So that is the base function in, that's one of the important function of management, which is plan. The subsequent function is organize. So the second function of management, the second function of management is, just a minute. Okay. The second function of the management is getting prepared, getting organized for execution of the plan. So organizing is the getting prepared and getting organized for execution of the plan. Management must organize all its resources well beforehand to put it into practice, the course of action, to decide what has been planned in the base function. I'm repeating, so management must organize all its resources well beforehand to put into practice the course of action to decide what has been planned in the base function. It's like an execution of the uh, previous stage, that is planning. So this process management will now determine the inside directional configuration. So organizing the plan in that organizing stage or organizing function, the management will determine the inside directional configuration. For example, what is our company's configuration? Directional configuration as like hierarchy of management. So establish and maintain relationship and also assign required resources. So while the organizing plan, the internal configuration has to be taken care to establish and maintain relationship, and also the assigned required process that is in the organizing. So while determining this inside internal configuration, management ought to look at the divisions of different divisions of departments. Okay, they also see the, what you say, the harmonization of this staff, trying to find out the best way to handle the important task and the expenditure of the information within the company. So the organizing is like a maintaining. Here comes the really the management or the administration team faces the, what you say, the real employees or the human resources. So management determines the division of work according to its need. So it also has to decide for suitable departments to hand over authorities and responsibilities. As I said, is an internal understanding the internal, determining the internal configuration, establishing and maintaining the relationship, and what you say, assigning required resources for the people, suitable departments to hand over the authority and responsibility. So that is where the organization function came into picture of the management. The third function is to direct. Directing is the third function of the management. Working under this function helps the management to control and supervise the actions of the staff or the employee who works for the organization. So here comes the directing is, which helps the management to control and supervise them. So this helps them to assist the staff, and also not in the way supervising or control. It will assist the staff in achieving the company's goals for their personal goals and also the career goals, which can be powered by how how directing can be done by motivation, communication, the dynamics and the leadership matters, how this directing function can be executed. So employees, those which are highly provoked, generally surpass in their job performance and also play important role in achieving the company's goal. That is very important. Here lies the reason why managers focus on motivating their employees. So the directing is the direct manager to the staff relationship. The motivation plays a major role. The motivation, communication, maintaining the what you say, the departmental dynamics and the leadership action, which will help the manager to focus on motivating their employees. So they come out with the what you say, some sort of prize incentive programs based on job performance increments, and that will gear the direction of the employees requirements. So it is important, it's very important to maintain a productive working environment, building positive interpersonal relationships and problem solving, and this can be done only with effective communication. So the communication helps, the communication here means the internal communication between the manager and the staff to make a productive environment, building a positive relationship, and it solves many problems with effective communication. So, understanding this communication process and working on the areas that need improvement help manage to become more effective communicators. So, manager has to be a more effective communicator. He should be a motivator. He should be a effective communicator. The finest technique of finding the areas that requires improvement is to ask themselves what are their requirements, to ask the staff what are their requirements at regular intervals and how well they are doing. So this helps a manager to lead a, but what you say, a better relationship for better directing plans as a leader. So the in directing function, which supervises and control the staff for better management to achieve the management goals by the manager, to have certain sort of what you say qualities where it has to motivation, communication, and the dynamics that has to be maintained, and which will definitely help to become a good leader. That's a leadership. So the final function. So after looking after this planning, organizing, and directing, the final function, the fourth function in management is to control. The fourth function is to control. Control the last four functions of management includes establishing the performance standards, which are of course based on the company's objectives, the final plan. So it also involves evaluating and reporting the actual job performance of the staff, what you say, the employees. So when these points are studied by the management, then it is necessary to compare the things. So comparison of both for the corrective and preventive actions. So reporting, evaluating of an employee or staff in a company is in this control stage. So the effects in this effect of corrective and preventive measures, which will solve many problems, the performance problems. So to and also which will have give you a management a higher standard, speaking to the employee. If a department having a problem, or if a individual employee is having a problem, so these things will comparison with the other three functions, which is an also an unending process, or saying a continuous process. Of course, effective and efficient management leads to success. The success where it attains the objectives and goals of the particular organization. So the ultimate goal and the aim of management need to work is creatively in problem solving in all the four functions listed out here. Hope management not only has to see the needs of accomplishing the goals, but also has to look into the process that their way is feasible for the company, like in each and every functions of the management, like plan, control, organize, direct, and control. And hope you're clear about the four functions of management: plan, organize, direct, and control. Is it clear? Planning, organizing, directing, and control. Could you tell in the which function the manager can, what you say, supervise the staff or employee?
Direct, sir.
Direct. Good. Very good. So the base function for a management is the plan. Absolutely. Planning.
Plan, sir.
Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah. I think hope you're clear with about the four functions of management. Now we will see what is media management. As I said, there is no exclusive functions or exclusive dissemination principles for management. That's why we have seen the general functions and then general definition, general concept of management. Now we'll go to the next level of look into what is media management. So media management, yeah, media management is seen as a business administration discipline that identifies and describes strategic and of operational phenomena on problems in the leadership of media enterprises. I'm repeating, media management is seen as a business administration discipline that identifies and describes strategic and operational phenomena and problems in the leadership of media enterprises. Again, see, here media is seen as an enterprise. So, where comes the role of management in media is if you take this media as an enterprise, what are the different strategies and operations that can be performed in the enterprises and strategic problems and operational problems that an enterprises will face can be identified and described for a media enterprise. So, this media can be seen as a media enterprises can be seen as a business administration discipline. So, they're totally not taking the responsibility of how the media is defined generally, the responsibility of media. And all. So, now they are seeing this media as an organization or the business enterprise. So if that view comes under an enterprises or organization's point of view, so it has to be seen as a business entity. So so taking this as a business administration discipline dealing with different strategic and operational functions and the problems that they are going to face. So that's how media management is seen as a business administration discipline that identifies and describes strategic and operational phenomena and problems in the leadership of media enterprises. So in this way, we can see the media management. So media management contains the following functions. So the four functions that we discussed earlier are the basic functions. It's a general functions of management. Then when coming very particular to study the media management as the definition given just before now, just before how to see this media management as a enterprises and a business administration discipline. So it contains the functions which is on the what you say which is on the slide screen for you. Media management contains the following functions: strategic management, procurement management, production management, organizational management, and marketing of media enterprises. You see, strategic things that you have to plan. Okay, so where comes this strategic management? Strategy. When we discussed about the general basic functions of management, the strategy came in the second function. If you remember, the second function of the management, what we discussed today is the organize. So, in that organizing stage, what we said is just execution of what we planned to achieve the goals. It's like an execution of knowing the different dynamics, internal directional configuration. So, here in the uncontrollable situation or unforeseen situation or any issues that has happened in the company, internal factors or by the external factors, the preparations and arrangements that you're going to face those challenges are known as strategic planning. So Here comes the strategic management. Obviously, media, seeing it as a business entity, definitely it has an internal configuration, internal hierarchy of people will be working in that organization. If you take a print or a newspaper or a television channel or any sort of media industry, media house, production house, it has its own level of operations. Even being technical, the professional, the technical responsibility that they involve, but still we require a operational, what you say, internal configuration to make it the work as a smooth professional way. So here, obviously, if involved with the hierarchy and the many people, human resources involved, that's, what you say, the uncontrollable, unforeseen, or the problem may arise. So here comes the strategic management. So what are the different strategies which will help you to face these challenges and the problems? Procurement management. The second one is the procurement management. Since media involves with a lot of procurement, okay, it involves, if you take a television media house, no, it deals with consumables and capital, recurring and non-recurring procurement of assets for a company. Even if you take newspapers also, recurring and non-recurring procurement involves. So here the material involves, the raw material involves. If you tell it in the general term, the material, raw material procurement involves. So media is also no exemption for this. So the procurement management has to be seen very clearly and just be derived very clearly how it has to function. And then the third is the production management. As you all know, the newspaper, if you take a newspaper or television or any media house, it involves with the production with the different stages. So the production involves different stages, from your newspaper production, television news production, television serial, television program production. Okay, so the production management matters. So we have to define and describe the functions in this point of in this area where how the production has to be managed. Then finally, the organizational management. The organizational management means, again, the second function of the management, which is to organize. So taking media as an organization as a whole, organizational management plays a major role. How to organize such things to achieve the goal or objective of a media house or media company. And finally, the function is, it's a business. What is a television program or a television or a movie or a film? If you see, if you want to see movie as a movie, artistically we can see movie as an art form, or movie as an art, movie as many things. We want to tell it in a very simple term. Cinema, movie, a film is a visual product. What do you say? It is an audio visual product to be sold. If you take newspaper, again, the newspaper is a product. The final newspaper, all the involved, all this management practice, the final product comes out of the industry is a product. With television, the programs or the television programs are all the product. Film, the final film is a product. So now with this management, with this company, with this organization, we have come up with a product. What is the next, what we have to do with this product now in our hand? Obviously to sell to their customers, to their readers, to their viewers, to their audience. So here comes an important function, marketing of media enterprises. So marketing plays a important role in media enterprises. So just summarizing the functions of media management, which contains the strategic management, procurement, strategic management to face the challenges here and now and then. It faces the procurement management, since it involves with the materials or the resources, physical resources to be procured. So procurement management and The production management, which involves various stages of production for any media products. Organizational management, since it's a media organization. Finally, the product has to be sold to the market, which will tell you the marketing of media enterprises. So these are all the media management functions where you can describe and what you say, elaborate it to the next level. Okay. Yeah. Oh, hmm. We'll go and next. Now we'll see what are the media management practices. Different media management practices for directing and controlling media related business and business functions, which includes in the management roles in the media industry or entertainment industry or media related teams in other industry, even event management. So media management is a broad practice that can include the following areas: business strategy. So developing strategies for media businesses to achieve goals such as revenue in a competitive and constrained arena. For example, a strategy to adopt a new business model for a video game company based on the sales of virtual gaming. So business strategy is more important because it is a, as we said, no, this is a competitive and constrained world where many are in the market, many are in the field. So strategy developing is an important factor for media businesses to achieve the goals. It varies. For example, you have to adopt a new business strategy for a video game company or for a what you say the OTT platforms or any production company. Strategy plays a major role since it's a competitive and constrained world. The second, media strategy, business strategy, and media strategy. The second one is the media strategy, developing marketing communication strategies for business in any industry. For example, a media strategy launching a new high speed train that involves media production, advertising, events, product showrooms, and relationship with media representatives and influencers. How you're going to communicate your strategy for the business in any industry. Developing a train, for example, I said no. How you're going to promote it? Advertising like events, product showrooms, and relationship with media representative and the influencer. So media strategy for any company, how you're going to handle. The third, the marketing communication. Okay, let me put all the practices and I'll explain one by one. Okay, the third one, marketing communications. So managing the implementation of this strategy in the areas such as promotion, advertising, sales, and branding. The fourth one is public relations. So these are all certain media management practices followed in the industry. So public relations, which manage the relationship with the stakeholders and the media to share information and build your reputation. So this is focused on major communication such as a press release, product launches, and investor events. And for example, for a film. Move, what you say, the audio release, so any launching of a product. So this public relations is one of the important practice in a media management. Then fifth one is social media management, relationship with the stakeholders through social media. This is often focused on promotion and managing feedback from customers and the public through social media. Media analysis. So this the other practice of media management is the media analysis. So developing the data and analysis of audience and their use of data. Used to say market research. This includes finding ways to reach a particular audience at a reasonable cost. cost. So if you analyze and keep everything ready, we can reach the audience very easily at a reasonable cost here to mention. Media analysis may also look at factors such as user intent and attention to discover ways to reach the audience when they are most open to influence ready to buy. As you know, no, some sort of feedback forms that they are collecting. Some, for example, for if you take a what is it, the Amazon after a feedback or customer review, so this will help them to analyze the big data, develop data to collect from the audiences, and it will reach for the betterment. So media analysis is one of the important practice that has to be adopted in media management. Media procurement, buying advertising slots or time. This included automated process such as buying digital advertisements, buying slots, and in social media space. So the procurement of media is also a practice where you have to be aware of. Media technology where we are and what is the media now, procuring, developing, and operating the optimizing the technologies for the production, delivery, management, measurement, buying and selling of media in the digital world. So everyday technological advancements happening, and especially it happens in the media. So production, what are the different medium of production that you are using it for your media practice. So these all applicable for any event management. So event management and media management practices after production, media distribution. So distribution of films to theaters and distributing your product in different medium, how you are distributing your product. Sales. So media sales, talent management inside the organization, how to manage with your what is it, the professional creative professionals and musicians. This applicable to the creative industry. And media measurement is one of the important practices for a media management. Is how to what you say, the objectives of media organization or promotional effort is assessed and evaluated. Is done using this media measurement. So licenses, so any such industry. So one should, a media manager or media management practice, be aware of these different practices where the management media company or media enterprise to be handled. So I think with this is enough. I'm closing the session for today. So what we have seen so far is, just a minute. What we have seen so far is, just I'm summarizing. So we have seen the meaning, concept, and definition of management. We know the functions of management, and we described some media management practices. We are going to follow different media management practices. That's it for today. That's it for today. If you have any questions, you can ask.